Okay, really quick. My name is Ana Maria Quintana. I'm councilwoman for the city of Bell. I actually became involved with this movement with saving adult education for two reasons. One of the, as everybody knows, my city, the city of Bell, was prey to horrendous abuse. Basically, a lot of, the old administration stripped us of coffers and left us basically with the city with very minimal resources. So in the process of running for office and in the process of re-educating and rebuilding our cities, we started doing town hall forums in which I basically got together with community forums and educated individuals as to the process and, government, charter, et cetera, just basically town hall meetings. In the process of setting up one of these town hall meetings, which I, for the most part, kind of gravitated towards the adult schools, I was informed that the adult education program was going to be eliminated in its entirety. And that's really tragic because, again, we rely on those town hall meetings to rebuild my city. And then second, as someone that has benefited from having a good education in the United States, I think it's very important that adult education be saved, precisely for that reason, because it's education. It's education that's catering to the community that is basically in most need. As everybody knows, when money is limited, I do believe that you have to kind of go to the bare bones. If money is tight, you go to the bare bones. And in this case, I think that the bare bones is the home. It's not necessarily the classroom, it's the home. If the teachers are not there because there's budget cuts and the parents have to step up and basically do a lot of the education and the instruction that takes place. So that's one reason why I got involved in Save Adult Ed. Second, another reason which I think is very instrumental is that Bell High School, actually the city of Bell, right now has an adult education center that's being built. It's approximately 75% fully in completion. It's being funded totally by federal, state, and bond proceeds. And the reason why that funding was given to LAUSD, it was given as a grant with the condition that adult education take place in that building. So if adult education is not financed, if those type of classes are not given in that facility, then there's a risk that the federal government or state proceeds, I don't even know what the risks are, that there will be a reverter. Basically, the federal government would come in and say, give us back our building, right? So there's a lot of legal implications there, which I don't know. I'm working right now with LAUSD to find out what it is that they're planning to do. I want certification that the building is going to go forward. And the reason why we're involved there is because that building, if adult ed, according to the budget that they presented in January, they're not funding adult education. So what does that mean? That means that the city of Bell is going to be stuck with the building that's going to be empty and basically tied down to nothing. And we don't want that. I mean, we've gone through so much already that we deserve better. In addition, the Southeast deserves better. There are 11 vocational adult centers in all of LAUSD, none of which serve the Southeast. I mean, the people in my community, from the community of Huntington Park, Cudahy, Bell, Maywood, etc., if they want to attend any type of courses that would be offered there, they have to take a bus and go all the way to Harbor. I mean, that's really far for us. And that community, that center is definitely needed in the Southeast. I mean, I feel we have been ignored long enough. And this is the trick. Since that facility in Bell probably has to be constructed, because I doubt and I'm hopeful that LAUSD sees that it's in their best interest to continue with it, they're going to have to fund it. And I think this is where we come together. In the process of, at least for me, I'm hoping that this works, in the process of me seeking funding for Bell and that facility, adult education needs to be saved. It's only 2% of the budget. And this is what I think it's very important to understand. Adult education in its entirety is 2% of the budget. It's not that much in comparison to other programs, right? Well, we have to look at the budget in its entirety and see, why is this program being cut? Why not others? Or what can we collectively cut? Let's cut a little bit from each one and keep this one. But I don't see that discussion taking place. So the important dates to keep in mind, and this is what I was talking about. LAUSD has to finalize their budget on June 26th. So that is our final date. That's when they make a determination as to how the money will be spent. On June 26th, the decision is made for the following year. But it's important that we get involved now, one, to save our programs for this year, but also to get a better understanding of how the budget process works, because this process is repeated year after year after year. LAUSD goes through this process every year. Cities go through this process every year. Counties go through this process every year. So the better understanding that we get for it now, it will be easier for all of us to collectively organize so that the following year we can voice our interest. And if not the following year, the following year. But I do think that elected officials need to realize that this is a community that will work together, that we're going to be on top of those interests, and that June 26th, we need to have that program reinstated in its totality. So if you guys have any questions, people have reached out to me. I'm available. I need insight from you. That way I can go back and try to do as much as we can. And collectively, I am very hopeful. We have 3 months, but if we do it right, I think we can get our program back in its entirety. Thank you.